Today's segment of Knowledge Share features Michelle Burgess of Notavi Creative, focusing on the importance of having a strategic lens in marketing and communications. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
Can you tell me more about the importance of having that strategic lens?
Yes. So my role in the industry is I work in marketing and communications and have a small firm. My role is not design at all. I could basically do a stick figure. My part of the overarching equation is really working with clients and identifying strategy for marketing and communications. And what that looks like is really figuring out, at the end of the day, what are you trying to achieve? Is it increasing sales? Is it having better relationships with your customers? Is it having ongoing customers? Is it a big purchase where there needs to be a lot of decision making? So it's really thinking of the strategy that goes behind it and then figuring out what makes the most sense. What I love about what I do is I'm not married to any particular medium. I really like to focus on the client-centric approach, which is really thinking about, at the end of the day, what makes sense for that particular client. And depending on that industry or depending on that business, the outcomes will be different. So we always like to start at the core and really identify what makes the most sense for this client. How are we going to be able to transform and evolve and be able to execute the deliverables where they can have the outcomes that they're desiring? So from that, it's really thinking and peeling back the layers of what makes that organization tick, how do they connect with their audiences, and really thinking about strategy. Thinking about the psychology of how people work and how they operate, how they think about things. Asking those curious questions of organizations to really get at some of the particular instances of what makes that organization unique. For me, that's what I consider the golden nuggets of marketing and communications. Designing for design's sake and having a beautiful piece of art is wonderful, but if it doesn't connect with a particular audience, then you don't have strong strategic marketing and communications. So I always like to tell folks, really think about, before you decide, hey, we need an ad, or I saw this and this looks really cool, try to put your own strategic cap on and figure out what makes the most sense for your brand and your company. A lot of times when we work with small business owners, they think about themselves and what they like personally, whether it's colors, whether it's messaging, whether it's looks and feels. But we need to ask our small business owners, separate yourself. Your brand is much different than your identity unless you're the spokesperson for that company. So think about, what would your brand do? How does your brand engage with your customers? The way that you personally engage would be a whole lot different. So those are all components of strategy that we like to really talk about. And through strategy, that's where you have a game plan where a lot of our clients don't find it surprising when we put together an ad. It becomes expected because they know what the strategy is going to be for that ad. They know what information is going to be on the website because we developed that. So it's making sure that you have those parts and pieces of your marketing and communications where you have the strategy first, and then you build the beautiful design, then you create the videos, then you create the execution and the events, and together it becomes a more well-rounded approach.
That's very helpful to understand the strategic lens in a different light. So with that, if anyone does have questions, they can certainly visit notavicreative.com.